welcome back to my channel. So, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to make this video forever and I finally get the chance to do it. I'm so excited. So we're going to talk about boards. I don't know where to start. Okay, well, I took the ANCC exam. Basically, I graduated in May of 2014, and after graduation, I was ready to go with gusto and start studying right away. But my lover and I ended up going to New York for a few days just to relax and just decompress. And my lover is my husband. I call him my lover. Anyway, we went to New York and I was tempted to take some study materials with us, and he was just like, no hon, you need to relax. And I was just like, okay, you're right. And so I did. I relaxed. I had a great time. I had an awesome time. And basically after that I came back home and it was get straight to work. So what I did, I scheduled the Fitzgerald review, which was about 2 hours from where I live, and I scheduled that for the first week in June. So I graduated May of 2014. The first week in June was the review session. In between there, I was just all over the place with my studying. I felt overwhelmed. I had lots of information, all of these different books. I mean, I don't know, my study was not focused, and I just felt like, you know what, I don't know anything. I knew that I knew things, but it was just, I don't know, I was lost, okay? I was lost. So I went to the review session and my eyes were opened. It was the best experience I have had. It was worth every penny, and I am so glad I went because it really sparked my focused study and my motivation. So here's what happened. When I get to the review session, it was in Richmond, Virginia. You know, I was just surrounded by all of these people that had just graduated from NP school, and they were all excited. And I was around, you know, students that were in their last semester, and they had already, you know, come to the information session. They were there, and I was thinking, whoa, they're in their last semester and they're here. That's awesome. So a lot of people had their test dates at that time, and I didn't. So I was looking like, I don't have a test date. And everyone's just like, yeah, I'm taking the test at this time. And I just felt like I am so behind. So I went through the information session and weaknesses were exposed. They were very clear to me. I had a little notepad, and every time we started discussing something that I felt uncomfortable about, or that I felt like, oh, I don't know the answer to that, I would write it down. So take a note of your weaknesses. And then after the exam, when I got home, the very first thing I did was schedule my test date. I gave myself 3 weeks. I said, you know, I'm going to take the test in 3 weeks. I feel like I want to get on with this, and I feel like I can do it. So my plan was focused study for 3 weeks. You know, I worked full-time at the bedside. I kept doing that, and I studied. So for 3 weeks straight, I worked 3 days a week, 3 12s, and the rest of the time I studied. I didn't cook dinner. I did not do anything except study. I didn't listen to music. I didn't know what was going on in the news. I had my books, and if I wasn't at work, I was studying. And on my lunch breaks at work, I was studying. So I knew that these 3 weeks in my life were going to be all about trying to pass my boards. And my husband, my lover, was on board. He was totally like, babe, don't worry about anything. I got this, study. Okay, so that's awesome. So have your support system, guys. The next thing is, so some tips I'm going to give you guys, because I don't want to talk your ear off. I could talk forever about this. It's like I have so much to say, but I'm trying to condense it all. So for the 3 weeks, one thing that I found was I had too much information. I had so many books. I had a pediatric book with questions. I bought 800 questions to do online. I had another book on women's health with questions. It was just too much. I had too much. So basically, what I came to find and what helped me pass boards is having my core resources. Okay, so core resources, these are the books I use that help me pass boards. I use Fitzgerald. I got this at the information review session, and this book helped a lot. I went through the book at the information review session, and I went through the book again at home. And so you can see all of the things I've highlighted in here. This book is awesome. I got this book at the review session and it's awesome, and I use this to study for my boards. If you don't have this book, then you can use the other Fitzgerald book. That could help you too with boards, because I think this one you only get when you study for boards, when you do the review session. So if you don't do the Fitzgerald review, then I would say go ahead and use her other book. There's an updated one now, but go ahead and use the other book and go through that book. And I feel like you can use this one if you don't do the information session, the review session, the information session. Okay, so that's the first book I use, Fitzgerald. I listened to Fitzgerald's tapes in the car. Whenever I was in the car, my radio never came on. I was listening to Fitzgerald's review, and that's what I did for that part. So after I finished her book, it was Day and Night Fitzgerald, along with the tapes. Then I had my LEIK book. Oh, this book, I love it. The layout is so awesome. Like, I find myself getting bored really quick when I'm studying, and I just start feeling like, oh, I can't do this. But for some reason, the way this is laid out is so straight to the point. And I went through all 600 questions in this book. So obviously, I have to love it to be able to go through 600 questions. If you look through here, you can see all of the highlights. I went through this entire book, and I went through all of the questions. So there were 642 questions, and I went through all of them. This book was recommended. I was introduced to the book my last semester in school. It was recommended around the time we started studying for our comp exam, and most of my classmates had it. Almost everyone had this book, and so that's how I was introduced to it. And I really used this book a lot to study for my boards, along with Fitzgerald, the whole book. And I still look through it because it has hot points and hot topics. And even now, while I practice, I'll go through some things in here. This book is at my bedside. I really like it a lot. So this was my second book. So far, guys, this was my main book, Fitzgerald. This was my main book, LEIK. They're both equivalent. And I also used this book, Adult Gerontology and Family Nurse Practitioner. But take note, I did not go through the whole book. It's too much. I didn't have time. I had 3 weeks to study. The only thing I used this book for was Chapter 19, Issues in Primary Care. I was taking the ANCC exam, so I knew that research would be on the exam, and I knew that there would be other questions like about credentialing, Medicare, Medicaid. And so Chapter 19, Issues in Primary Care, there's 103 questions, and it focuses on research, and it focuses on credentialing, APRN, legal matters, health Healthcare Research Matters, and the questions are on point. This book is awesome. If you're going to do ANCC, just look at chapter 19, the issues in primary care, and that's all I use the book for. And there are rationales in this book. So other than my core resources, those are my core resources that help me pass boards. The only time I went outside to look for anything else, and the only time I brought any other book in, was my primary care book. I would go to this when I needed to read more about something. I would go to this when I just needed more information. And I still, as a family NP, I still go to this book to look things up. Don't give your books away. Don't sell your books, because you need to have a little library. And so I keep this book at home. It's in my room. It's by my bedside because I read it sometimes at night. And that's pretty much my advice for you guys for passing the NP boards exam. So the only other thing I want to mention is my next video. Keep your eyes peeled for this, guys. It's going to be so awesome. I'm going to talk about two things. The first thing is going to be an awesome app I was introduced to that will help you pass your boards. And I wish I had this when I was studying for my boards, because it would have made my life a lot easier. And the next thing is going to be my first giveaway. I'm so excited. I can't wait to tell you guys about it. You're gonna love it. So keep your eyes peeled for my next video, because it's gonna be so awesome. So I hope that I helped you guys with this video. Please leave your comments below if you have comments, if you have questions. Maybe I could do a video, a Q&A video about boards, and I could just answer your questions on video. So leave your questions below and your comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.